Kyler Murray and the theme of accountability. So I have been historically a big Kyler Murray guy. Of course, he was injured last season, and now things are in flux. So Kyler was talking to the Arizona Cardinals website about accountability. And I think some of these quotes are a little troubling. Look at this. I'm going to listen. I'm going to be coachable, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. But if the bleep ain't working at some point, we all have to look in the mirror. It's a team sport. We have to be locked in. All right, you guys are familiar with the theme of accountability, right? Especially in the NFL. You're the quarterback, the most visible position on the field, probably in sports. He's also just inked a lucrative contract, gave him $103 million guaranteed. Listen, it all begins and ends with Kyler Murray. And he's on a sinking ship right now, right? J.J. Watt bailed. Buda Baker's asked out. DeAndre Hopkins said, trade me, then they released him. Like, this is a franchise in flux, and Kyler Murray has to step up and be accountable. And I want to just give you a quick story about accountability. You guys know I used to run a website, and I'll never forget an Easter weekend 2013. I was at my wife's family for dinner, and we are eating Easter dinner, and there's an NCAA tournament game on, and a Louisville basketball player by the name of Kevin Ware suffered a pretty gnarly broken leg in the game. It was one of those, ooh, like you could see the bone protruding, very gruesome, gnarly. So I was running a website at the time. We had a staff of about 12 guys, full-time and part-time. And one of our guys instantly, hey, this is big news, jumps on the post and puts it up. So about 30 minutes into our Easter dinner, I get a call from who I called the Bobs, the suits at the company that owned our website. Hey, Jason, hey, you guys have to take this post down. It's just inappropriate. It's really gnarly. It's kind of gross. You got to take it down. And I was like, what are you talking about? Do you have any experience running news, any background in reporting, journalism, anything? If it bleeds, it leads. You guys know that. Now, obviously, we put a big tag on the post. Hey, this is bad. You may not want to see it. This guy broke his leg. But this story is going to lead today, tomorrow. This is going to be a big story. And our guy posted it, and it was getting monster traffic, which is kind of the game on the internet. You got to get traffic. So this gentleman in the front office of the USA Today that had owned us at the time said, listen, you've got to mention to the writer to take it down now. And I said, wait a minute. This is on me. Don't make it about the writer. I run the site. I told him to do the post. Well, we're going to keep it up. So, of course, he wants to get the lawyer involved. You got to take it down. The internet's yelling at us. I was like, listen, it's fine. I'll take the arrows. I'll talk to the lawyer. I took full accountability, okay? Of course, a couple days later, I get called into a glass office, and they want to yell at me. But it's not about the writer who posted it. It's about me. That's what accountability is. And, you look at these Kyler Murray quotes, and you start to wonder, man, this guy's been in the league 5 years. He got his big contract. Does Kyler Murray understand accountability? I don't want to say, like, we all have to look in the mirror. Yes, football's a team sport. And the defense of Arizona is not good. It's going to be horrid this year. Special teams, not great either. They have the youngest coaching staff in the league. There's a lot of problems there. But this is about Kyler Murray and accountability. Okay, Kyler Murray is a very pampered player. He's one of the most ballyhooed high school football players in Texas football history. And we know the rich history, Friday Night Lights, Texas football. He went 42-0, won 3 state championships. And as he goes to college, he had some success, mild success at A&M, then transfers to Oklahoma, sits behind Baker Mayfield, wins a Heisman Trophy, and he's going to the draft. Everybody says he's going to be number 1. I'm sure some people will say, listen, J-Mac, ease up on this kid. He was a college kid going to the NFL. Guys, he kept looking to his dad for answers. I heard a story that Kyler Murray's mom was still doing his laundry in Arizona. This is while he's a quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals. Like, at some point, you've got to grow up and show accountability. I don't want to hear about the team. And we know, listen, Arizona they did very poorly on those NFLPA report cards. They ranked 31st. They got an F in the weight room, F in the training facility. Like, it's not great. Things are not great there. But you know who can turn them around? Kyler Murray, by stepping up to the plate and accepting accountability. You put your name out there, Kyler. It's a tough one, especially given how bad the roster is. And what adds to all of this is looming. If Arizona gets the number 1 pick in the draft, they're probably moving on from Kyler Murray. So not only, Kyler, are you auditioning for your leading role in Arizona this season, where eventually you're going to come off the ACL injury and hopefully start a few games and maybe get some W's. But you could be auditioning for the other owners who are looking for a quarterback. I don't think the market's going to be as robust for Kyler Murray as everybody thinks it is if they end up getting the number 1 pick and Caleb Williams. All right, I saw this. I want to move to the NBA real quick. You guys know I'm from New York. I'm a huge Carmelo Anthony fan, or at least I was when he was starring with the Knicks briefly. We're in a tough moment right now in basketball. And if you guys remember, I hosted a few weeks, maybe a month ago, Chris Broussard came on the show. And we were batting back and forth some problems with basketball in America. Because the NBA is thriving, obviously a great sport. But we're seeing international players come over and win MVPs. Jokic just won the NBA Finals, NBA Finals MVP. Like, the international players are having a moment. And something's going on in American basketball. It's been happening for a while. We've heard Jay Billis and many kind of bemoan the AAU culture. Well, there's a player by the name of Will Barton who did play for the Nuggets. And he gave a podcast interview on why Carmelo is one of his, wait for it, top 15 players all time. All right, this is going to be a tough one because so when I was growing up, I was in the Northern Virginia area, and I was a big college basketball fan because my friends' parents liked college hoops. So I liked Georgetown and Syracuse. They had a great rivalry. So I became a Syracuse fan too. And Carmelo Anthony goes to Syracuse. 1 year, wins a title. I'm a huge Carmelo Anthony fan. Carmelo then goes to the NBA. I think he walked in the league and averaged like 21 as a rookie. Just an awesome talent. Okay? And then he would get to the playoffs, and every year it was the same deal. Bounced in the first round. And folks, this is kind of crazy. I had to double check the numbers. Carmelo Anthony got out of the first round of the playoffs twice in his entire career. And if you're looking for the symmetry, one time in Denver, one time in New York. Interesting. Got out of the first round twice. And Will Barton, who, by the way, is from Baltimore, and, you know, Carmelo Anthony's family largely grew up in Baltimore. I think he was born in Brooklyn. But I'm sure Will Barton watched some Carmelo Anthony growing up, and, like, everybody was rooting for him. But this idea that he's a top 15 player all time just doesn't jive with anything that you've seen on the court. There is literally no evidence that could back up Carmelo Anthony being a top 15 player all time. And I think it comes down to this. The young American basketball players now, and we've touched on this on the show before, they're in this like highlight culture where, man, can you take him off the dribble? How's your handle? How's your crossover? Can you do an elite layup finish the way Kyrie Irving does? And the players seem very wrapped up in this because Carmelo Anthony was brilliant at all that. One-on-one, he could cook anybody. Great shooter, awesome scorer, lethal scorer. But was he a winning basketball player? And I would challenge Will Barton. Will, there's no evidence Carmelo Anthony ever raised the level of any of his teammates in the NBA. Ever. It just didn't happen. He's an offensive player, which is great. You need offense to win in this league. And I saw Kevin Durant chime in on this. I should probably stay away from KD, since anytime I talk about him, he gets very angry and yells at me and calls me mean names. That being said, Carmelo Anthony wasn't even in the level of KD, and KD played defense. And my problem right now with largely this American basketball culture is AAU basketball is hurting badly. My son played for a year, and it would be like you go to a tournament, you play 2 games one day, 2 games the next, and it's like, does winning, I mean, obviously you want to win games and you want to win trophies, but the idea is, are you getting your stats? Are you playing well? Are you putting up buckets? Are you getting noticed by coaches? And it seemed more of a me culture than a we culture. And there's something about the international players when Jokic makes everyone around him better. Luka Doncic is a triple-double king. I know people will say, well, Jason, Russell Westbrook, triple-double king. You got to put him in that. No. Russell Westbrook is the reason Kevin Durant left OKC, guys. This me culture, Westbrook had it. He wanted all the shots. Carmelo Anthony had it. Now, Melo for sure is a Hall of Famer. No denying that. He's a top 50 player all time. I know he made the top 75 list. But this idea that he's a top 15 player when he's not known for his defense, he on the boards, he would love to yell out obscenities when he would grab rebounds. There's a funny video of like 3 minutes of Carmelo cursing as he grabs rebounds. Like, that's what I'll remember for him and the Syracuse title. Not never getting out of the first round except twice when you needed a great point guard to lead the way, and Chauncey Billups and Jason Kidd in New York. Like Chauncey Billups with the Nuggets. Like, Carmelo, I just wish we even saw it recently, right? Brandon Miller, the young kid coming to the NBA draft, was asked, like, who's his GOAT? He said Paul George. And I get it. Obviously maybe he liked Paul George and loved his game and modeled his game after him. But what happened to admiring the winners? The guys who won titles, who elevated the play of others? Magic Johnson, LeBron James, Steph Curry. Why don't we love those guys? Guys who actually win as opposed to just get buckets. I don't know. It just disappointed me as a Carmelo fan and as a basketball fan who likes winning players. I never thought of Carmelo as one.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.